have no standard, standards of evidence are important, and that's what you need for proving things. And different people have different standards of evidence. So it's easier to prove certain things to certain people than others. Guys, I want to bring real quick a friend of mine on. Josh, you're backstage. You're the only one with a camera backstage right now, and who's been on before that I know isn't a porn bot and going to start blasting hardcore anal as soon as I bring you on the stream. So glad glad that you're a real person, and we're going to be on discussing crazy shit tomorrow. I can't wait, with Professor Steinman. And you're from Canada. Yes. So, we're all in this together, man, because if US goes down or Canada goes down, we're going down too. So, it ain't nothing but a international border as far
Very
as
much agreed. One comment on Dr. Greer. I think, like a lot of people that have been in the ufology field for a long time, he gets a lot of incoming information. So a lot of that's going to be falsehoods that are spread by the IC to sort of muddy the waters, but he's also going to get the occasional true information. So I think you've got to look at each thing that he presents individually, because I know some of it is provably false.
Take it by a case thing, and just because he's gotten some bad information or fell for some bad people in the past, we all have, man. Everyone cuts their teeth. It's a difficult field. It's full of operatives and disinformation agents, as he points out. Lou Elizondo. Lou's not the only one, dude. There's lots more, and on lots of different levels of working on different things. I understand that, man. And you know what? It's a year of this year is a year of moving forward, and a little bit of forgiveness. So we have to forgive each other of the mistakes that we've made, and maybe also forgive the government a little bit for some of the mistakes they've made. Although don't forget, certainly, and
as long as they come forward with transparency and truth. If they're continuing the cover up, I'm not forgiving them for anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't forgive them either. Exactly, as long as they're being forthcoming. If you can disclose and be like, look, we fucked up, and we
gave Lockheed a bunch of UFOs, and we didn't allow anyone else to have the tech, and we
reverse engineered it with a bunch of scientists. Some of them we killed and to cover it up, and
we didn't tell Congress, and we haven't told several of the last presidents, and only Eisenhower was the last one to know. So
if you knew it all, man, it's wild, dude. So I hope they do come forward with at least some of the stuff. It's just time, man. They're not going to be able to hold out another year of being like, oh, this isn't real. These are conspiracy theories. Don't listen to these people. Like, that's what they're literally trying to do that in the mainstream right now. Like, I read a paper.
They're burning all of their agents doing it, though. Yeah. When they put forward someone and they come up with something like Keating that is provably false and useless information, and he essentially wastes 2.5 hours of everyone's time, you don't listen to that guy for disclosure in the future. He's a celebrity. Yeah. He claims that the math is too hard for his brain. Like, why are we looking to this guy for the answers? There's other scientists like Charles Bueller and Bob Greenyer and so many more that you guys have had on APEC that are actually talking about the nitty-gritty of the science that's going to push this forward. And they're not just worrying about their own status and whether they got a Nobel Prize.
Or their careers, or whether they're going to be pulled up for the Nobel Prize in the future. He's so concerned about it. You can tell, you can clearly see he's like, I have to take this line so I can be the next Neil deGrasse Tyson, and they're not going to give me a Nobel Prize if I don't, like, it's so like, it's the control. And once you see that someone's controlled by those types of things, they've lost all their credibility. And like, again, this is why people like trust me. They come to my channel and they follow me because they can see, like, I'm a free spirit, man. I ain't controlled. There's no chains on there's no chain. There's no one buying me off or paying me or persuading me to, have bias towards a certain narrative, man. I'm just, my only objective is the truth and accurate information. And even if it's the most crazy, outlandish thing in the world, like, claiming that, the people who were supposed to protect us on 9/11 may not have took action to do that, and may have been, taking other actions that day instead of protecting the nation, and investigating, who was behind that. Yeah, that sounds crazy to people who think that who are new to this stuff, but man, it's the damn truth. And you guys, it's about presentation. It's about how you come off to people, but it's also about not giving people too much at a time, because you can see, like, we're getting deep on the information, and there's new people coming in, new people jumping off, because like, it gets to be a lot of stuff, and you got to research all this stuff, and then you're down a rabbit hole for 2 hours, and not everyone has the time to do all that kind of stuff, and it's easier to go along with the narrative sometimes. But yeah, I like what you had to say about a lot of these guys.
One quick note, tomorrow's interview with Simon won't be live streamed. He's going to edit the film like he does with all of his other films, and add annotations and illustrations and links to the patents that we discuss. So it'll probably come out maybe 3 to 5 days after tomorrow.
Right. Like Friday, Saturday, maybe this weekend or something. But all right. Okay.
Subscribe to Simon and look for our interview.
Good to know. I've been telling people it was live, so that's good to correct that, so that they'll be looking for it. They're like, where is it? No. All right. So it'll be pre-recorded tomorrow, but then that will come out later. All right. Good. But definitely the Tim Pool on Friday will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday with Ashton Forbes and Mike Rossi. And that will be...
I will be watching.
That will be pretty amazing to see, that Mike Rossi bringing this technology out, I brought a little bit of it out in 2021, I think, when I forget when I went down to Tim Pool's. Might have been even years before that. I don't even know. I mean, it was a while ago. But man, I got to get on Tim Pool again, and this is going to be good, man. Dude, this disclosure, it could be harmful, dude. Yeah. So can running with scissors, dude. All right, like, so can driving a car. Maybe we shouldn't drive cars anymore.
A hammer can be a weapon depending on how you use it.
We shouldn't sell hammers. We should have, if we sell hammers,
we should have all of our knives chained to our kitchen table, like in China.
With the codes on them, so you could, like China. In China, you
so
can't have a knife
fight back against the government.
Yeah, your knives in China have to be chained to the counter at your house, and they all have to have a QR code on them. They can scan them so they can know where that knife came from, the serial numbers and everything. So they can trace it back to everyone. So, like, we're going to ban everything, dude. So, like, because disclosure could be harmful and too dangerous. So we might as well, this is like the Nancys, the Karens of the world making excuses. It's just ridiculous. So unless you want to end up like China, all right, then, don't give up your guns. Like, don't. Like, the first thing the Nazis did after they took everyone's guns away was load them into train cars and send them to fucking death camps. Okay, that is your government. And to think that the same people wouldn't do that again, then you have no idea. You have no idea. All right, let me prove to everyone. All right, there's a guy named Milgram. Milgram proved to everyone back in the 60s. With a 1962 experiment that he conducted, he proved that yes, 90% of you will kill people like the Nazis did if put in that position. 90% of you will fucking kill other people and do exactly what the Nazis did if you're put in that position. And this experiment, the Milgram experiment of the 1960s, fucking proved it. Okay? It fucking proved that you will kill and load all your friends onto train cars if you're ordered to by a position authority, because it's human nature. It's human fucking nature. It's disgusting, but it's true and it's real. And if you don't believe it, go watch the Milgram experiment study, or better yet, watch the Stanford prison experiment. The Stanford prison experiment, they had a bunch of these students take part in this experiment where some of them would pretend to be prisoners and some of them would pretend to be guards. And by the end of the experiment, they had them doing worse shit than Abu Ghraib. Okay? And they had to shut the experiment down because they were so disgusted at what these people were doing to their fellow students because of these just perceived positions of authority and whatnot. Okay.
Or read Animal Farm, or read 1984, or read Xi Jinping's plan for one world, one China. They're planning to kill everyone that is not Han Chinese, and then they will have an entirely Han Chinese world. This is the plan. He's documented it. It is at your peril to disbelieve him.
Yeah, it is. It is at your peril, man. Just people need to wake up, man. You know, there's people with heart that will do it too, and these experiments proved it. It's just human psychology and human nature. So it's nothing to do with evil or any of that. It's just psychology. It's pure psychology. And to think that they haven't figured this out with MK Ultra and the decades of research that they've done into this stuff, you see it working in real time with the way they're able to brainwash massive, large numbers of people. There's a lot of people that are just hypnotized, like modern hypnosis programming. They don't call it television programming for nothing, right?
Unfortunately, it's going to take a shock to wake some people up, whereas some others will be woken up just by seeing some of the evidence. And then they will start investigating. They'll start spreading the word on their own too, and getting the information out to people and contributing to open discourse and discussion. That's the key. That they do not want that. They want to shut everyone up and have us not talking about it and pretend that it's going to be catastrophic.
Trivial, pointless things. They don't want us to share real information and learn. It's true. I'm going to have to end this. People aren't going to watch it 2.5. People complain and they're like, you got to keep it under an hour. And it's like, dude, I can't keep things under an hour. It's like,
important information doesn't
real
wait for a time limit.
Yeah. But yeah, please share the information. And I'm glad that people are learning about this, because then they can go out and talk about it. I'm hearing other people talk about this on other podcasts. I'm hearing, these things mentioned, when people bring up these subjects, people are like, oh, I remember that thing. And it's all key to be able to remember that name or that study, and then be able to show that and cite that, because when you start educating people on real history, man, it's I know, dude, no matter what you do, it's never enough. So but look, we're trying.
We got to keep trying though.
Everyone's doing their part, man, because it's like, I ain't going out without a fight, and I'm not going to let's sit here and just watch it all go down. And when I'm sitting here watching other people, like, I had a great comment the other day on YouTube. Someone was like, dude, you should, because I was like, oh, I want to get on an interview, and asking someone to interview me on online. And someone's like, oh, I wish you would let me interview. I do a way better job. And there's a ton of people out there, man. You see these podcasts, you see me, and you're like, I could do a better job, or I know more than this dude. That means it's your calling. That means that you should listen to that voice with everything inside you, because if you think you can do a better job, then you should be. Then you should be on here. You shouldn't be afraid to wind up like any of these people. Like, just, if you can do, I know there's people out there that have more information, that know more about this, that could do a better job than this, but they're not talking.
I have had better understanding from laymen without degrees than with PhD physicist, astrophysicist Brian Keating. He won't discuss aerogels. He won't discuss the mass limitations of Newton's second law, but he's certainly willing to trash talk all of it.
Yeah. There's so little information that he put out in that episode. It was just,
it's just a waste of time.
It was and to think our top astrophysicists are but anyway, he's not the worst of the worst. He's not a bad guy, and he's not, I would I respect.
There are people that are willing to discuss this with him and bring his knowledge up, but he's not willing to engage. And that's a
Yeah.
core tenet of science, is open discussion. So you really have to question someone's
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what happened to you. Just dropped out, Josh. Hopefully you'll come back, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up here. Hopefully Josh comes back. That was not intentional. He just dipped out of the stream. I don't know what happened, but truth is their kryptonite. Yes, he's missing a lot of information. That's why it's important, man. We need to educate these people. Like, even he's an educator, he's an influencer, and we need to educate and get the right information to those type of people. So how do we do that? That's the big question. Well, I've invited him on the show again. He said he's a little busy. We'll see if he agrees to do that, and definitely, drop a line on him. Drop a message. Next time he posts something, maybe drop this link and be like, "Hey, or Brian, they were talking about you on this podcast. Go check it out, man." Let him know, because I don't have hard feelings for. I understand where Brian's coming from, and I just want, well, at least I kind of do. But I would love to talk to him a lot, and get a more in-depth discussion on this. It's cool watching Danny Jones talk with him, but man, it's like I watch Danny Jones and I say I could do a better job, and if you say that to yourself, then you should be, and you should be moving on that. Because we need more people in this field to do a better job and to talk about this stuff. So, yeah, guys, Happy New Year. And yeah, Josh just got teleported, apparently. I don't know what happened to him, man. Josh, if you're out there watching, man. Yeah, he does not like Sarfati, man. I guess Sarfati put a real bad taste in his mouth for all this stuff. And that's part of the reason he hasn't looked into my information, is because, he took one look at Sarfati and said, like, hey, I ain't going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. So, yeah, that made me really rethink a lot of these other scientists and these relationships, and my approach to the subject too, and how we're influencing, how we're being interpreted and understood and viewed by the community at large. So that's all important for all of us to step up our game in 2024. And yeah, dude, the more important thing is, man, he says he's going to break. What did Brian Keaton say right before his New Year's resolution was to piss off the right people, and defy some rules? And man, I would like to see more of that, Brian. There's a lot of people that'd be pissed off if you started talking to me, and I would love to see that. I would love to see a conversation, because I mean, if you're right and I'm wrong, then that's going to come out, and if you're not, then what's the point? Why wouldn't you debate me, man? I'm not literally looking for a debate so much as just a more detailed discussion on some of that stuff. But yeah, Todd is the man. Oh yes, dude. Yeah, I definitely say, Todd, you got the math background and the engineering background, because it's really difficult when you get to out of these, because Sarfati's got all this crazy math and stuff, and but he knows nothing about building anything or engineering or experimental stuff. He's not an Todd. All about building stuff and engineering stuff, which is awesome. And then you have other guys that are just too far on the experimental side and don't have enough physics. Like other people in the group. I won't say who, but there's certain people that don't really have the whole picture. But man, you think his math is just faking it? That's another thing too, is because I get all your math. I can follow your math and understand your papers. Whereas his stuff, it's just like, yeah, it's like Brian Keaton said, it gives me a headache. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see why it's giving these people a headache and putting a bad taste in their mouth and stuff. And yeah, man, I agree. Like, we've got some really great engineers and scientists on here that really know this stuff. Man, I'm sorry, Todd, if these other like people like Jack have been, taking a lot of the attention away from better physics and better models and stuff. Maybe it's time to, focus on quality over quantity as far as the scientists that we're getting out of the woodwork. Because I like that the fact that we're getting more PhDs and more scientists to come out of these black programs and say, yeah, I was hired by CIA to reverse engineer UFOs, and this is my story. And that's cool when we get people like that to come out with. But if they're not putting good physics forward and they're not really having a positive influence on the mainstream physics community at large, is it really beneficial to us? So, and yes, it does take years to learn the math, especially like the tensor calculus stuff. And even then, I don't think there's really a lot of people doing a lot of that math who aren't using computer software to do a lot of the calculations and math and real heavy lifting. Because it would take you 5 pages of like rewriting matrices and real crazy a lot of long, arduous and rigorous mathematics to get through some of these problems if you don't do them with like some of the softwares that are out there for doing this, like C-Tensor. That's one of the softwares. C-Tensor. In any case, have a good New Year. Have a happy New Year. And well, that's what David Perez is trying to do. That's what Bob Greenyear's trying to do. He has this whole presentation where he doesn't try to do any math because there's a lot of people you lose with the math, and that's fine as long as you have verifiable science and stuff. But you can't just throw out math completely and say that we're not going to do any. You can say that, well, you're just lost in mathematics and you're getting too crazy into theory. But definitely read Todd Desiato's engineering model for gravity. He's got definitely read Todd Desiato's papers on gravity if you're a scientist and you're interested in learning this stuff. And I think if we get Brian Keaton on for a physics debate, it will be with someone like Todd Desiato and not Jack Sarfati. So love your work, Todd, by the way, and keep up the great work. It's awesome to have you here and on the team, man. You've done some great stuff. So yeah, definitely check out that. If you guys want, you can go to Google Scholar and just type in Todd Desiato on there, or look up his projects on ResearchGate, and you can find his papers on there. And his YouTube channel is Warp Drive Tech. Sorry, here's Todd's Warp Tech YouTube channel. So go check that out. And if you are really into the science and engineering side of this and want to listen to someone who's very well educated and knows what the heck they're talking about when it comes to all this stuff. Todd's been an invaluable part of the APEC community and team. He's one of the few people that has like we get these hoaxers on there talking some nonsense, and Todd's one of the few people who will get on there and set them, has the guts to like break it to them and really set them straight on the science and stuff. And so I really appreciate that, man. He's been so spot on with so many things, like these free energy devices that come forward. And Todd's like, oh, that's a buck boost generator. And, you're just changing the frequency of the output energy. You're not measuring excess power. And yeah, he's great. Todd is, maybe I can get Todd to jump on this call, this stream with Professor. I'm going to call you right after this stream ends, Todd, and see if I can get you on the call tomorrow, because out of any, I'm thinking you would be definitely the right person to have on here for that. Yeah. Here's Todd's YouTube channel, youtube.com at Warp Tech with a CK. So definitely go check that out, man. And Yes, dude. These 2024 is going to be an amazing year because everything's lots of stuff is coming together, man. I think this is going to be the year it breaks through to the mainstream and we have disclosure. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a great night. Have a happy new year. And as always, you can, if you have any information or leads on stories or anything, feel free to message me on Twitter. My DMs are open on Twitter, AlienScientist. I like the Twitter platform. I've completely deleted my Facebook, all my Facebook pages. So if you see anyone on Facebook that's pretending to be me, please report them. It's not me. I'll never use Mark Zuckerberg's platform ever again. Mark Zuckerberg can go to hell with all of his NSA and CIA friends who he allowed to steal our information. And Elon, I know he's doing the Neuralink thing and he's still stuck on rocket technology and hasn't created a warp drive division, but at least he bought out Twitter and made it a free speech platform, reinstated a couple banned accounts and has made an effort to really make the freedom of speech on the internet free again. And that's awesome. So I will be on Twitter doing as much Twitter as possible. So if you want to get out to me, it's easy to reach me on Twitter. And it's not censored. I get all your messages. Sometimes it gets lost in an inbox full of stuff. So a bump if you think it's important and I haven't looked at it, or just remind me and keep at it. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So yeah. Don't ever go back on that shit platform. If you're on there now, to try to get off. I know it's difficult to avoid, and there's a lot of people that communicate through social media and everything. But I do it all through X now. I'm on Twitter, and it's not censored. There's not I don't see the shadow ban there, so people can see my posts and get the information out. And if you send me messages, I'll actually get them. I've had other problems, people complaining about my Gmail address. Gmail's controlled by Google, NSA, and so hoping that they haven't censored any emails, or that no one's tried to send me things through Gmail and gotten caught up. So if you have anything that you really want to get on, again, we do these live streams, and I post a link, so you can anyone with a browser can jump in one of these and jump in. So I'd love to have more people reach out and contact me and get involved with disclosure. So thank you all. Jump on the stream after it ends if you want to hang out and talk. And I got your email, Esoteric Gold. I want to talk to you too, man. I got to email you back. So definitely, that's what I'm worried about. So yeah, it's better to send me info on Twitter. I might set up a Proton Mail account too, just for a secure email drop, because we're doing this disclosure, and I've gotten a couple people saying that they want to send me info and stuff. So it'd be nice to use. Yeah, definitely check out Todd Desiato on the past APEC conferences if you haven't seen his presentations, man. Definitely someone who knows what they're talking about and is worth listening to. Thank you all. And yes, definitely let me know what you think. And if you guys, I'm looking to book podcasts for 2024. If you would like to have me on as a guest or a panelist, just send me an email or message me on Twitter, and let's coordinate and get things set up. I want to get on as many platforms and get as much disclosure out. I don't care if you got 100 subscribers, man. I'll come on your show and talk to you. As long as you got something intelligent to talk about and you got good questions, man, I'll talk to anyone. I don't care how big your channel is, man. I'm a real dude. I'm not chasing. I'm not like Stephen Greer, where I'm going to say, oh, unless you got 1 million subscribers, I'm not going on your show. I'm not like that, man. I'm dedicated. So don't make me start a podcast. Well, I mean, if you just started it yesterday and you want me to be your, I don't know, but we can at least talk. You can jump on the after the stream and hang out. So yeah, I've been going on there, man. I'll jump on there again soon. I'll check it out. You'll see me on there soon. Guys, there's the link again. I'll see you backstage. Peace out and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.